Welcome to Mercy's Designs. My name is Mercy and I demonstrate Stampin' Up! Products. So today I want to show you this triple twisted easel card. I was inspired by Mary on Stamps and Linger, and I decided though to adapt it to this particular stamp set, which is Turtle and Friends. And I also brought in Timeless Tropical, but for the most part I used the Turtle and Friends for all these. So how this works is you can mail it flat, so these go down, and then you can bring them up and hold it, kind of prop it underneath these little supports, which are hearts. And oh, I forgot to mention, this is from the, oh, my mind's drawing a blank, Give It a Whirl dies. So the heart, you can, you could use something else potentially for that if you don't have that. So let's get started. I'm going to first show you how I did the base, and then I'm going to also show you how I reverse this stamp. So the stamp is this way, and then I reversed it so it's that he's going the other direction. So be sure to stay around for that. Okay, so I have a card base, and this is 5 1/4, not the typical 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And the reason for that is it's just going to make it easier to divide up the 3 sections. So I've already gone ahead and scored it down at 4 1/4. And now I'm going to put it in the trimmer. I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see this a little better. So I'm going to put it in the trimmer, and I am going to cut up to the folded score line. So the first measurement is I'm going to go at 1 3/4. So these will come out as equal thirds. So I come up here and I cut until I reach that score line. So then I'm going to move it over, and now I'm going to cut at 3 1/2. So 3 1/2 is over here. So I'm just going to move my paper down to 3 1/2, and then I'm going to cut again, once again up. So, and then just stop halfway. And so what you have are these little flaps. So the next part is to score. So I'm going to be scoring like here and here. And this part is pretty important, so do take your time. So I'm going to move down here, and now I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to close this up, and I'm going to center it. I want to make sure I'm in screen here, since this is a very important part. So I'm centering it in the center of this valley here, and then I'm centering in the groove there. So I'm trying to, it's a little harder to do this on camera. Now I do suggest that you do not start pushing this direction. So I'm just, when I'm applying pressure, I'm going that way. Okay, so if you're having trouble seeing it, one of the tricks you can do is only hold the one out that you need. So like this. So I'm centering that, and then I'm lining up my valley here in there. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I'm really scoring it well. Probably once or twice would have been fine. Okay, so final one. So you just do this for all 3. And it's basically each flap, it's the top corner to the bottom, or inside to the score line, the lower part of each flap. So these are what I consider flaps. Okay, so now we have those, and this is Granny Apple Green cardstock, which is very bright. I did the other one was with the pool party. So next you're just going to want to burnish these. So they will eventually go down, but whatever way you find easier to do this, I'm just going to, this is slightly inconvenient right now, the way it's coming together. Okay, I'm getting it though. So again, it does help if you make sure you get that, if you want a nice crisp corner. So there we go. So that's the first one. Then the next one I'm going to burnish. Well, that works okay, but see, I didn't quite get it down in here when I was scoring. That can be a little hard. But if once you're burnishing, you can fix little issues like that. Okay, and then this final one. So it's kind of hard to get that. Maybe my scoring was a little off, but you can see you want to try to get that corner in. So there, you can see that. And now we're ready to start decorating. So what you will need are little pieces of DSP and 3 of each color. So I have chosen from the Pattern Party DSP, and what we need to do is to fill this in. So I think I'm going to have the Pool Party up here. So I will start with the lower ones and show you what I mean. And I will, after I show the first one, I will speed it up just so you don't have to be bored. Okay, so the important thing is you're paying attention to the angle. So I know I want to cut from this to here, and you can just hold it up so you can see that. And then I will just cut here and here. And these pieces of paper, I forgot to mention that, are cut at 1.5 by 3 7/8. And then, so what we will use is this lower one, but I will reverse the card. So I will show you real quick what I mean by that. So this is my original card, but I have one prepared and I used all those DSP pieces here. So it's reversed. You can see the black is on the bottom now. So I don't want to waste any of them. And that's a great option. So, but in this case, I'm going to be using this side. So I'm going to create 2 piles and I will keep cutting. Here is the final decorated part. And now I'm going to show you about how to do some simple mirror stamping. So we have our turtle here, and what you will also need is a silicone mat. And this is basically ink transferring. So I have my Memento ink, and you'll need a piece of paper about 2 inches high. This is just shy of 2 inches, but it'll work. And of course your punch. So this technique is easier actually to do with dies, but I found a little workaround which doesn't work like beautifully, but it definitely also, it does work. So what you do here is you're just putting it down. You're just stamping directly on here, and I realized, oh, I kind of messed that up because I stamped right on that emblem of Stampin' Up, and then I slid it. So let's try that again real quick. So now I'm just going to get it over here and stamp directly down and hold it for a few seconds. Then I'm going to get my piece of paper and I'm going to try to put it directly down without sliding it. So straight down, and then you want to rub it. Now, some people use like a block to just push up against it. And then the trick here is to go straight up. So here is the image. Now, it's not that fabulous, but there are a couple things you can do to correct it. First of all, when you are going to be coloring it, that will help fill in areas. But the other thing you can do is get a Stamp Right marker and trace out parts. So if it looks a little off, but you'd be surprised how much, see, I kind of slid this one around. This one didn't come out as well as some of mine. So, you know, you can do like this. And then, so I'm tracing it. So in order to be able to use this punch, which obviously this is directional, you're going to have to be able to look at it from the other side. And this will help to a degree, but not enough. So let me show you. So on the back, this is where you're going to need a light underneath, because you can't see otherwise. So I'm going to get my flashlight on my phone, and can you see the outline? So what I do is I then take a pencil, but I'm realizing I do not have my pencil around, so I'll try to demonstrate with the Stamp Right marker. And what I did was I kind of traced it a little bit, like so. You don't have to do the whole thing, but what you do need is to know kind of the basic dimensions of this. So what I really am upset I forgot my pencil, but hopefully you get the idea here. Yeah, actually, this works pretty well just to use my phone. So, all right, I think that's probably enough. That now, when I punch this, move my phone, you can line it up. It looks like a very bad drawing. And flip it over, and it should be at the right place. So it's not too bad. I think I'll definitely be able to use that one. So once you color it in, it definitely starts looking better. So but I have already decorated all of mine, but I just wanted to show you that technique, which I feel bad I didn't demonstrate that a little better, but you get the idea of how to trace it with some light behind it, and then you can punch it. But one really exciting part about this is this stamp here works perfectly well. So let me grab the Granny Apple Green. Here's my Granny Apple Green over here. I'll just show you real quick what I mean. And gotta make sure it's well inked, because you kind of have only one chance at this. And it comes right in the center. So this part is mirrored, which is really great. And you can do it both sides. So for the little baby, this stamp set includes these two little turtles. And for that, they only have one turtle back shell, and it works for both of them. So I was kind of excited to see that it actually works this way for this one too. So the other thing I wanted to show is I use this tropical, Timeless Tropical for this. So how I did that is I used soft suede, my Granny Apple Green, and I first inked a little bit here, but not too high to kind of get started. And you can do the same actually with here. But what I did then is I filled in. So with my sponge daubers, and I keep one per color pretty much, I'm filling in like so. And after you do this a couple times, it gets a nice little buildup of ink, and it doesn't take too much effort to do this. So then I'm just inking here, making sure that's all on. And bring in my paper, then stamp. Oh, I think I went off. Yes, I did. So that is the palm tree, and then I die cut that out. So now moving on, going to just close up these ink pads so we don't have a mess. I will do a little bit more stamping and then we will assemble the card. So I have a piece of Whisper White here and I am going to add some confetti. So here I'm going to bring out a little softer colors. This will be inside the card and we will stamp with Coastal Cabana and Flirty Flamingo. So what I did here, it doesn't really matter which one you start with. Back out a little. But what you want is to go down the one side. So, and these are very forgiving. So if you don't line something up, it's not. Because it's confetti, it's all kind of mixed together. Okay, so that is all the stamping we're going to do because I have already colored ahead of time. And this is a good thing because this does take some time. I do have a bunch of the blends markers that I use, and I will try to list these in the description below. But you can see I use quite a passel of them. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. You should see my desk. It's quite messy. I'm trying to keep it clean where I'm doing this. This is a little bit of the description what items went in, but I will list that in the description below. So let's bring back in our base. Here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and add this layer. And this layer is 5 inches by 4 inches. Normally it would be 5 1/4, but remember this is a 1/4 inch shorter than the standard. So when we decorate these, I want this already to go. So I'll bring back in my original card, and what you want is you do not want your easels to be straight up. So usually you want it like kind of 3/4 angle, and you'll get a feel for that when you're doing this. So I will just go ahead and start that process. So I used little dimensionals, which I'll grab here, and these hearts from Give It a Whirl to do this. And I did these are Poppy Parade, and the one is Flirty Flamingo. So I'll speed this up. So what I was saying is we do not want to have this too steep. About 3/4 is about right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hold, these are sticking to my hands. I'm just going to attach it and leave it, and then I'm going to grab, these are sticking to my hands because I took the backings off. I'm going to grab my next one, so my turtle facing here, and I'm just going to hold it up. This isn't, I'm not attaching anything yet, and I want him to be just a hair less of an angle than that one. That one, it's about the same, but I think it's okay. And then here, this guy. So this guy I probably want the least amount of angle. So I'm just going to put them right here. Okay, so now those are ready and we can continue to decorate. So this part is just a matter of taste, but one of the things I did here was I have this happy belated birthday, which I stamped. And what I'm going to do is cut this down because I want to use this in 2 locations. So fussy cutting words, especially if they're little like this, actually is extremely easy. So I'm just going to bring this here, cut this down. And I also did that with the hello. So the original hello is hello little one, but because I am not making this as a baby card, I just simply cut out the rest, omitted it, and now I have this. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is do the upper layer. So we're going to go ahead and add this, and this is going to be at an angle here. So I got my glue, and remember with glue, less is more. Don't get carried away, as tempting as that might be. I'm just going to go right off the DSP, and make sure you put it far enough over because you don't want anything blocking. And then I got the little, where's my baby, my little ones. Oh, I've got to pause this. I've got to grab the little turtles. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So we're going to add these little turtles here, and I like to pop them up, but I'm not popping up anything here because it'll already look dimensional for one, and I don't want to add too much bulk. So I love the little dimensionals. I actually now use them more than the big ones. I'm not sure about whoever's watching this, what you've experienced, but especially when you're doing a card with little stuff, I feel like I use less big one. I mean, my package of dimensionals goes further this way. Okay, so we'll just put them right above belated. And then we're going to add our sentiment. Now, make sure when you're doing this, you do not glue that corner because you don't want it. We want to eventually be able to move this. So what I always do is I just put my fingers in the way. So I make sure that I never go over. Okay, now I'm going to go all the way over to the edge, just so when this is laying flat, you can still read Happy Belated Birthday, because that's important. And there, the first panel, if you will, is already done. All right, so for the next one, this one we're going to add the tree behind our turtle. So I'm bringing him in. And what I did was I went ahead and attached the branch to the turtle right away. So I didn't take any chances of anything slipping around when I added this. So you can see this you can have go on the turtle, or if you, whatever you want, you know. I'm just having them kind of rest together because then it feels like it will add support, a little bit more support. Okay, so the turtle, we are going to add a little doodad here, and this is from a die from the tropical, a die cut from the tropical, Timeless Tropical. So I'm going to go ahead and add that right away, so I make sure I allow enough space. Okay, so remember my trick. I know a little bit of the head is going to stick out, but mostly it's this area here. So I'm just holding it, and I just noticed I didn't color in right here and here, but I'll do that. It was like 11 o'clock at night last night when I was working on this, but I can do that after the fact. Okay, a little bit on the head, a lot on the feet, a little on that tail. Okay, I think that's probably enough glue that it's going to hold him in place, which is what we want. Okay, so it looks like he's having a little munch maybe on those tropical leaves. So you can see this kind of covers it up when it's laying flat, but that doesn't bother me because I think most people will have it at the display level. So now we have that cute little bird. So the little tweet tweet bird and the hello. So I'll go ahead and add the hello. And this one I did not put on a diagonal. So I just kind of put him straight. I kind of felt like if you have everything straight, then, you know, it's less visually effective than if you do some parts on the diagonal. Okay, so my camera seems to be malfunctioning a little. It keeps shutting off on me, so I apologize. But here is the little birdie. I'll just continue decorating and hopefully we can get through this. And hopefully I can figure out why that's happening. All right, sorry I was slow. So that one goes over here on the diagonal. And again, make sure you keep it all the way to the edge. That way nothing gets covered. And we have our little turtle. And these I fussy cut out. It does not have a die. This particular stamp set only has the punch, so you don't get all the pieces. You have to not hate fussy cutting, I guess, to get this stamp set, because if you want all these cute little turtles, you're gonna have to do some fussy cutting. So that's a little bit of a downside, I would say, of this particular stamp set. So I can't use a full dimensional on this little foot. Okay, now we got him, and he's popped up, which is just the way I like it. Sorry I was slow. And then we have now this guy, and this stamp set comes with a bow tie, so I'm just going to quickly add that bow tie. Make sure I have enough glue. Something's definitely up with my camera. It keeps stopping. Oh, I don't like that. Okay, so we're just going to add, you can see where I have the pencil lines over here. We're just going to add him here. And he's also part of our scene. So this is now the completed card. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any stamping needs, please email me at mewants3@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to help you place an order with the host code. If you have any comments, I would appreciate if you leave one, and please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Here are the two cards, and I'm not sure which color combination I like better. I thought I would like this one better, but now I'm thinking maybe I do like this. So super cute triple twisted easel card. Give it a try. Thank you again for watching. Happy stamping.